Hi, this is Sharon Marie Chester, a licensed clinical social worker, board-approved clinical supervisor, and racially literate white person. I find I spend a lot of my time trying to translate for my skin folk what racism is, how it applies, and why you might be part of the problem. So this was a really important segment I want to talk about. People think that so what if I have a prejudice or preconceived notion? I'm not doing any damage. That's not true. And this is why this is an important conversation. For example, I had a gentleman friend who asked me, he's a good-hearted person. He said, I hear you that you say I have the wrong idea about who black people are. But then please help me understand why it is that when I watch the news every night, it always seems like it's the black people who are getting arrested for the crimes. That is a great question. I am so glad you asked. Because, my friend, when a whole culture of good white people like you have the preconceived notion that black people must be some kind of way that would make them more inclined to be arrested than white persons, we assume, always, that, of course, it had to be the behavior on the part of the black person. Now, I want to make this clear at the first front out. Black people are not trying to get out of crimes that they have committed. They just want the right not to be disproportionately scrutinized by the only other usual suspect. Please let that sink in. Our preconceived notion that it must be some behavior on the part of those people that propels the police to focus on stop and frisk and all these broken windows policies that profile black people while they are overlooking the white counterparts are getting away with the crimes. Okay? I'll give you an example. The Department of Justice, and this is not untypical, in Los Angeles between 2003 and 2004, revealed that black folks were 127% more likely to be stopped and frisked than whites. Blacks were 76% more likely to get searched than whites. Yet frisked blacks were 42% less likely to be carrying weapons than their white counterparts. In other words, a lot of innocent black people are just being stopped just because they're black. Okay? So it is your preconceived notion that it must be the behavior on the part of black people that is exactly what encourages discriminatory sentencing practices. It is your preconceived notion that it must be behavior on the part of those people that encourages discriminatory employment practices. It is your preconceived notion that it must be something on the part of those people that encourages discriminatory lending practices. It is your preconceived notion, prejudices, that it must be the behavior on the part of those people that encourages discriminatory voting opportunities. It is your preconceived notion, your prejudices, that it must be behavior on the part of those people that encourages discriminatory coverage on the media. I would like to say it again. It is your preconceived notions that encourages a whole culture of good white people like yourself to sustain the discriminatory institutions that we have going on that are committing inhuman compromises to the civil rights of black people. Again, black people are not trying to get out of crimes they've committed. All they want is the right not to be scrutinized disproportionately by the only other usual suspect. Your prejudices matter. Thank you for listening.